Okay, here we go. The big news. Floyd Mayweather Jr. is unretiring. Last week, we talked about Floyd Mayweather Jr. Fighting Mike Tyson. Everyone that I have spoken to about this fight, the Tyson-Mayweather fight, I've asked boxing fans, I've asked, diehard fans, casual fans, even non-boxing fans, what they think. Would they buy it? Are they interested? You know what the overwhelming answer was? No. I think that it's going to do piss poorly on the ratings unless they count just people that have the service, But anyway, Mayweather announced that after the Mike Tyson fight, he is going to unretire. And not only is he going to unretire, but he's going to fight a real fight that's going to count on his record. So I started saying to myself, oh, geez, who's he going to fight? Who's he going to fight? Who's he going to fight? Next thing you know, the fight that makes the most sense for Floyd at this point in his life and at his age is the rematch with Manny Pacquiao. Now, of course, it's going to sell because the Pacquiao fans all still think that Manny – actually, there's a lot of Manny Pacquiao fans that think he won the fight. Okay, I'd be the first to admit that I was rooting for Manny Pacquiao to beat the snot out of Floyd Mayweather, but he did not win the fight. Floyd won the fight. Then we find out that Manny Pacquiao hurts his shoulder and goes through with the fight, which, I came on this show and I talked about how stupid that was for Manny Pacquiao, because we all know damn well that if Floyd would have, broke a fingernail or stubbed his toe or got a splinter, he would have called off the fight. There's no way Floyd would have fought at anything less than 100%. And Manny made a big mistake. And his excuse was, I didn't want to let down the fans. I didn't want to let down the networks. Well, you know what? It happens all the time. This business, you're susceptible to having injuries and postponements, and everybody gets sick every now and then. But nonetheless, after all this time, they are going to have the fight. It is legit. It is signed, sealed, and delivered. It's taking place September 19th and will be on Netflix for anybody who has Netflix, which I think is good. Will it break the record? Probably, because there's a lot of people that still want to watch Floyd lose. Now, I haven't heard any official rules of the fight other than it's going to be a sanctioned fight and it's going to fall under the normal rules. I'm talking about the Floyd Mayweather rules, what kind of conditions he's going to have and anything else. There's been some postings on social media, but as you know, I do not talk about stuff I see on social media because most of the time, guess what? It's bullshit. I try to talk about what I know is fact, stuff that's backed by fact, not rumors. If I'm going to talk about a rumor, I say it's rumored. But I have not seen any fact, confirmed rules, any special deals, like rehydration clauses. He can only wear this. They can only have this kind of glove, that kind of glove, whatever. I'm looking and waiting for Floyd to try to dictate that. Now, the only thing that has come out is that Manny Pacquiao has said that Floyd initially, when they reached out, because obviously they've been talking about this for a while, all right? And according to Manny Pacquiao, Floyd reached out and wanted to make it an exhibition. And Manny Pacquiao said, no, if we fight again, it has to be for real. So it is for real. Now, why would why would Floyd Mayweather risk his 50-0 record that he has built his whole persona around? Okay, now, for people that don't know, the 50-0 record was only supposed to mean anything in the heavyweight division. Why? Because Rocky Marciano retired at 49-0. So it was a dream of heavyweights coming up after Rocky Marciano to surpass his 49-0 record and become 50-0. Somehow, Floyd managed to manipulate and BS the public to think that he made such a substantial achievement by retiring at 50-0. And, oh, by the way, his last couple of fights, I mean, listen, no disrespect to Conor McGregor. I know he would kick the crap out of me, but he wasn't a boxer. And the Nevada State Athletic Commission approved the fight, and which I thought was a sin. They wouldn't approve a fight against Triple G and Jaime Munguia when Munguia was 25-0, and they wouldn't approve it. And their reason was Munguia wasn't as experienced as Triple G, and they were afraid that he might get hurt. But yet they let Conor McGregor step in the ring with Floyd. I don't know. But the truth of the matter is the 50-0 doesn't mean anything to him. And I think the main reason, well, it doesn't mean anything to me. It means it to him. My man coach in the chat room, Harry Greb, was 45-0 during 1 year in the early 1919, according to coach. I thought it was 1920, but it was just a different game. But I think the real reason Floyd is even considering risking that is he needs money, boys and girls. He's broke. Can you believe it? A man who made documented well over $1 billion. That's $1 billion in the ring. Okay. And he managed to piss it all away. You heard, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, that he's suing Showtime for $300 million, claiming that they robbed him. That's from years ago. That's kind of a long shot. But there was a report that came out in the Business Insider before the lawsuit that was reporting and with fact that he was in some serious financial trouble in terms of listing creditors, et cetera, et cetera. So to me, that makes more sense that's the reason that Floyd is coming out of retirement, because quite frankly, both of them are too old to be fighting now. With that said, Manny Pacquiao just fought to a draw with Mario Barrios, a couple months back for the world title. So if you look at it that way, you'd have to think that Manny Pacquiao is more fight ready than Floyd. But then again, Floyd's fighting Mike Tyson, right? And he's also going to have from now until September. So it's a similar, thing. When Crawford was beefing up, he took plenty of time to beef up. But in any event, Manny Pacquiao, 62 wins. His career record right now, 62 wins, 8 losses, 3 draws, 39 coming by knockout. And as I said, Floyd Mayweather, who's just turned 49 years old, is 50-0. So we'll see what happens with that. But a lot of people say, you know what? Hey, my man Max just popped into the chat room. Max, when are you gonna change teams, man, and become a Tide fan? He's a Georgia Bulldog fan. But I got to come down. You gotta cook for me. He posts all this stuff on Facebook all the time, and he always gets me starving. But in any event, the fight that people want Floyd to do instead of Manny Pacquiao is Terrence Crawford. Now, look, if Floyd, I've been watching and looking at a lot of stuff about Terrence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather, and people are finally starting to say, maybe Terrence is going to be higher on the all-time great list than Floyd. And many people believe that if the two met in their primes, that Crawford would win. I'm one of those people, and the only reason I say that, yes, Floyd has a great defense, so does Terrence. Floyd has hand speed, so does Terrence. Floyd can counterpunch, so can Terrence. But the difference between Bud Crawford and Floyd Mayweather is Terrence Crawford has a mean streak, something Floyd doesn't have. Floyd fights too cautiously. If the two met in the ring in their primes, Terrence Crawford would have beat him up. Now people are trying to say that Mayweather's got to fight Crawford now. They're both retired. It's only a 10-year difference. There's not much mileage on Floyd because he's cherry picked and all these things. One side of me says, man, I would love Terrence Crawford to beat the hell out of Floyd. I would love nothing more than to watch that. Okay. But, we can't have that. There's no way Floyd would have to be ready to have to be forced into living in a refrigerator box before he would take that risk. There's no way. I think Terrence Crawford today, if they fought like Floyd's 49 and TC is 40, 9-year difference. I mean, theoretically, a 9-year difference doesn't sound that much. Like, if you're talking about a 25-year-old fighting a 35-year-old, but a 49-year-old fighting a 40-year-old. Terrence Crawford, Floyd doesn't stand a chance with Terrence Crawford. Let's just end the conversation right there. Anyway, Floyd and Manny too. I think a lot of people are going to watch it. What's your thoughts? Drop me an email, social media, do something. Let me know what your thoughts are. Are you going to watch it? Are you interested in it? All those things. You can email me, Billy@Talkin, TALKIN, boxing, BOXING.com, or on, on the socials, my Facebook page, Twitter, or X, and all that stuff. Some things to talk about in the news real quick. They made it official. Nanuet Inoue, the monster, is definitely fighting Nakatani. It's taking place in Tokyo on May 2nd. I know there was some up in the air about that. Max is saying that IRS too. Listen, we all knew that he did the IRS. A lot of these guys don't. We're talking about Mayweather real quick. A lot of these guys just don't get it. They make the money and somebody should be telling them, hey, you got to pay the IRS. It's called income tax, sir. And that's why he retired, unretired, retired. Hopefully they'll pay their cut and they're going to lose 50%. Hey, they're talking about each making over $100 million, possibly two, for the fight. But